what's up, YouTube? This is the spiritual black butterfly again. On this video, I'm gonna break down the beginning of this whole spiritual warfare when it comes to me, how I met my ex, and they say your body talks to you, but we just have to be enlightened enough to know when our body's talking to us and how to recognize the signs and what it's trying to tell us. So at the beginning, this was like 2006. I met this guy. I was at a train station right after Broadway Junction in New York. And I was sitting there waiting for the train, and this day, like 5 trains then came and flew in the station and flew out. They didn't even stop. So this guy, he was standing on the side waiting for the same train I was waiting for. And I looked at him, and my first thought was, oh, this guy looked like he just got out of jail, because he was like real big. He was 6'5", almost 300 pounds. But he wasn't like fat. So he's just big. But when I first saw him and he started to try to talk to me, my natural instinct was like run. And I literally ran from one cart to the other cart thinking the train was going to stop, but the train that came in, it slowed down like it was going to stop, but it didn't stop. It just kept going. So I was like, fuck. So now he's talking to me, he's trying to get my number, and come to find out, he's going to my same train station that I'm going to. But he told me he was going to check his homeboys and them that lived over there. Come to find out, his homeboys ended up being his baby mother that he had a son with at the time. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, we started talking and whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm about to jump in a cab. I said, let me see, being that we're going to the same stop, let me see where he's going. So I offered him a ride. I said, I'm about to take a cab because like 5 trains then came in and they didn't stop or whatever. So I'm not going to stand here and wait for another train to come in. I'm only going like 2 or 3 stops, over. So I said I could just jump in a cab. I'm like, if you want, you could take a cab with me or whatever. And he was like, nah, I'm just going to walk. So I said, all right, cool. The guy that manages his baby mother's building was one of my homeboys. So I saw him like a few days later, and I was like, yo, who live in that building right there? And he was like, oh, nah, it's only one family up there. And he broke it down. He broke down, like, exactly who was living in the apartment and whatever. So I said, oh, okay. So I'm thinking to myself off back, like, this nigga done lied. But it goes way beyond that, because through us talking, like, we would be on the phone for like 6 to 8 hours. Like, he wouldn't never want me to get off the phone. And I'm a Capricorn, so when it comes to like conversation and stuff like that, I can communicate on like multiple different levels. We politic, we talk about all types of stuff, because we be tapped in either through experience or whatever it is, but we always got a story to tell. So we would be on the phone for like hours and hours and hours until things started getting like more serious, and he started sending me like nude pics and things like that. So one time, I remember I was in a cab. I was on my way to, I forgot what store I was going to, but I was going to get my son some toys. I think it was around Christmas time. And the same guy, he sends me a picture of, a penis pic. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh. So we're on the phone as the picture comes through. So I'm like, oh, half vanilla, half chocolate. Okay. Like that. I'm laughing, I'm cracking jokes. I'm thinking weird shit in my head. So, years later, I saved that picture to my email. So, like, years later, like, after we hooked up and things like that, we had already moved in together. I'm looking at the picture. I'm like, well, that is not your penis. So, like, why would you send me a picture of somebody else's penis? He's like, no, that is mine. And I'm looking at the hand. I'm looking at the watch that's on the hand. I'm like, that's not you. It didn't dawn on me until like later on, to after we was in a whole 17-year relationship, after I didn't kick them out, and after I started replaying all his friends that I've ever met throughout these years, that this guy was gay. And I'm like, so what was this? You had 3 kids with me, and your whole interest been men this whole time. And even though I know he's been, incarcerated, he did a lot of jail time, supposedly for things that he didn't do. But anyway, the guy, he had a guy friend that was always close to him. And I remember his mother telling me, like, oh, this guy, yeah, they've been friends since childhood and this and this and this. And I remember him telling me stories of him and the guy doing a bid together, 14-year bid or 12-year bid or something like this. And he's been incarcerated for, almost all his life. But, so the guy came into a situation where he needed a place to stay. And I had an apartment that I was renting rooms out of. So my ex at the time, he spoke to me, and we agreed that we was going to give this guy a room. But things got a little out of hand. At one point, I didn't have the space for him because I had, it was a 3-bedroom apartment, and all 3 rooms was rented already. So I told the guy, put a bed in the living room. I'm like, you can sleep out here, and as soon as somebody leaves, you get the first room or whatever it is. People was always like in and out. So it came to the day that somebody moved out, and it was time for him to get a room. So the day that I put him in the room, my ex was standing outside the room, and this guy had already owed me money because he was in the living room. Technically, that's a deal between you and, you know, my ex. It really didn't have anything to do with me. When it comes down to me, everything is all business. I don't owe you anything. That's how I feel. So yes, I was charging him rent and whatever, and he he was like, "Yo, Rose," he was like, "Yo, you gonna get your money, like you ain't gotta be like that and this and this." I'm like, I'm looking out the door like, "Yo, you gonna check your friend?" But he didn't say nothing. He just, my ex, he just stood behind the wall like he was caught between a rock and a hard place, and he didn't know how to choose. That's how it came off to me. So I'm like, because he didn't say anything, that raised a red flag to me. Because I'm like, if that's your friend and I'm supposed to be your wife, and I'm sitting here doing your friend a favor, talk to your mans in them and get that shit straight, pretty much. So he didn't say nothing, but we ended up talking about it, when we left and we went home or whatever. So come to find out now years later, I know this was his lover through the whole thing. This was his lover. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this was his lover. So I'm like, okay, so you was sleeping with me, sleeping with him, and every time I would catch you in a different girl's inbox. Like he had this thing, I guess, because he's been incarcerated for so many years. He said one of his homeboys had put him on to these dating sites where he would, meet girls, and they would talk and he would jerk off and whatever it is. So after we moved in, I remember I went through his phone one time because it was so much things that was going on that like I was never really at peace, because he would always try to do something. It was like every time I would get ready to leave him, it would be little signs like I'm always in a predicament where I need him for something. And I'm like, why the fuck do I need him? I don't need him. I could raise my kids on my own. He can go. But whether it be down to like my last $20, I'm like, yo, so now I need him. Like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, so it would be little things like that. So one day he had a page on one of these dating apps, and I went and I created a page on these dating apps, and I noticed he had like a routine. Every morning he would get up at 5 o'clock, and he would go in the bathroom, and he would just stay in there for like a long time. So I said, all right, cool. So I added this girl. I created a profile. I found somebody's page, and I found the prettiest girl I could find with the fattest ass, and I created a profile, and I stuck this girl on his page. I added her, and I went in his phone, and I added her onto his page. So the next morning, he thought he was asleep. He woke up. He went in the bathroom at 5 o'clock. As soon as he got out the bed, I rolled over. I rolled over, and I was like, all right, cool. So I started checking my phone. So he goes in the bathroom. He's texting this girl. He's like, good morning, beautiful. Oh, you're pretty, and this and this and this. I'm texting him back. I'm in the bed. Like, this nigga's stupid as hell. And I'm over there. I'm texting him back. And when he came out the bathroom, he got in the bed like nothing happened. He thought I was still asleep because I rolled back over. So as soon as he laid down, I rolled over. I was like, so who was you talking to? He looked at me, but that the vein in his forehead just raised up like he already knew he was caught. He already knew. But it'll be little things like that. It was another time. There was a girl. He at this time when I met him, he had like a good job. He was making good money. He was into like the HVAC, the asbestos, things like that. So he was making good money on those jobs. But something happened. I guess they all got laid off or whatever, and he never went back. So I remember me and his mom's having a conversation, and she's telling me like, she has a friend that has a bar, and they're looking for a bouncer, and whatever. If he wanted, he could take the job, but he's telling her he don't want to take the job. So I'm telling him, my motto is slow money's better than no money. So it don't matter what the job is, just do it, so you'll be able to bring some money in the house, so you'll be able to help me, pretty much. So he took the job. That just opened up like a whole nother lane for him to meet women now and men. So I remember one day he was like, I found this girl's number in his phone. So I called the girl, and I had already spoken to the girl, because what I would do is I would go through his phone and I would screenshot on my phone and have the information in my phone. Look, they trying to play with my throat. I'm gonna speak regardless. It don't even matter. But anyway, so I'd already spoken to the girl. She's like, as soon as I called her off of one of them spoof apps, and she was like, "Oh, now you calling me?" I'm like, "What? Who is this?" And she explained to me that she had a job for him or whatever, that he was trying to kick it to her and whatever. So she used to call him the Hulk because he was shaped like the Hulk. So when he got back now, I'm like, who's this? I noticed every time I would catch him, and I would be like, yo, who's this? He knows I'm a Capricorn, so we don't really ask too many questions because half the time we either don't care or we don't care to know. So every time he know I ask him something, he started to get hip to my game. And like, oh, if she's asking, I know she knows. So let me give her a little bit of the truth so she could fall back and hopefully be content with that and don't push the story anymore. So it went from the emails to the girls to I never went to his job. I'm not really that type of person. I'm not gonna go to your job because I know how I get. I would embarrass your ass. It don't even matter. I don't care who's around. I would embarrass your ass. So I never really pushed those buttons. But he was always, I guess he figured out that I wasn't going to push those buttons. So it just gave him, that was like his free time to do whatever it is he wanted to do. So I would see like pictures and stuff of him like with other girls on the job, and he would always make it look like, oh, it's six guys and it's six girls, or five girls, or and six guys, or something like that, to make it look like he's not a part of the bullshit. But I could just imagine what I don't know. But I don't really care. I don't care. It's over. My thing is, he's just mad now that I'm an empath and I pick up on energy. So when it comes to these narcissists, there's certain types of empaths that really intimidate them. I'm one of those empaths that once I cut you off, I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck. You're not coming back. I stand on all 10 toes. It's a no. It's a no for me. So yeah, that's just another way of how these, when it comes to relationship, how these guys be trying to gaslight you and be like, oh nah, like nah, she wasn't, no, she was trying to get me a job, she wasn't trying to sleep with me or nothing like that, and whatever. Always, it's always, every time something comes up, he'll be like, oh, no, you bugging out, no, it's not that serious, oh, I'm the crazy one. That's how he would make it seem. So I don't know. But yeah, I think it's time for me to start getting some of this stuff off my chest, because I'm to the point now where I don't have anybody that I can speak to, because my family then sold me out. He bought my son, my oldest son, who's 26, then paid him to come in my house, hack my laptop, um, put cameras in my house, things like that, and just so he could spy on me. And mind you, you're out there, you're living your best life. So what does it matter what I'm doing? He's just riding past my house. He's paying other people to stalk me. They're just waiting to see like who's the first guy I'm gonna let in the house. That's what this is. That's what this whole thing is about. This is where the control comes in at, because he wants to have control of my life, and he don't realize that he lost control a long time ago. I wasn't even supposed to be in this relationship for so long. Literally the first year that we hooked up, I was supposed to have left him that same first year, but I ended up getting pregnant that year. So I kept my son, and we ended up building a family after that. But that just got me locked in, like, to a whole freaking, how many karmic cycles I done did with this dude? This is crazy. If karma comes every 7, 8 years, that's two karmic cycles right there. I was on my third one. That's crazy. If I wouldn't have got out when I got out, I would probably still be living in fear right now, not knowing what's going on. I probably would have lost my two kids, my life, and everything. Because what these people are doing is they're doing spell work, voodoo, hoodoo, or whatever the hell this shit is called. They're doing this shit behind the scenes to cause confusion, to sit there and mess with your beauty. Like, look at my hair. My hair literally was falling out, and I couldn't figure out why. As I started getting more and more tapped in, I'm like, I'm looking at my phone, and the witch, the next door neighbor from two doors down, that from previously from years ago, she's been doing voodoo through the phone. So every time I would look at the screen, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to cover up the camera part. No, whatever the fuck this is the whole entire screen they're using to monitor us, which is crazy. They're on the dark web, and they're finding these hackers, and they're paying them to hack into the devices so they can have 24-hour surveillance of me. For what? You know how many people probably didn't see my naked ass? Because I walk around my room naked. As soon as I come out the shower, my bathroom is linked to my room. As soon as I come out my bathroom, I'm in my room butt naked. So my Alexa is hacked. My phone is hacked. I have a camera in my window that views the back end one that sees the front of the house. And they're hacking into everything. They literally sit outside my house in a van, in a truck, or whatever the hell vehicle they have at the time with the hacker, and they're hacking my Wi Fi. So I'm to the point now where I can't even connect to the Wi Fi. And I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, yo, I don't care about the Wi Fi. Everybody in here, everybody's phone is on for the month. We don't need the Wi Fi. But because my kids are gamers and they're spoiled as shit, this is where we at now. So now I have to have my privacy invaded because y'all need the Wi Fi. Like, it's ridiculous. And all of this so they can gain access to my banking information on my phone, my credit card information, my logins, my password, my account numbers, and things like that. This is what they're doing. This is what they're hacking my device for. I had two credit cards that closed on me last year because he done gave my social and all my kids' social to this supposedly neighbor that's a hacker, that she thinks I don't know that she's a hacker and that she's the one that's hacking into my devices. This bitch don't walk around with no phone. Every time you see her, she's drunk. She's fronting like she's drunk, but she don't never have a phone. So one time I remember I was getting ready to go down south. I had to go pick up my son because he was living in North Carolina at the time. So I said, I haven't done this drive in so long. I used to go down south a lot. I used to, drive to Florida, things like that. I like to drive so I can, see the scenery. That's my piece right there. Just being out in open land. I don't have to worry about, traffic and that type of stuff. So I would drive and I would, gain clarity. I would get my peace and I would be able to come back and deal with this New York life. But I have to do it. I have to do it. If I don't do it, man, they would drive me crazy. It's so much stuff that goes on, especially when you in cluttered areas like New York City and any of these boroughs out here. There's so much that goes on. Like, we have to find time to ground ourselves. And like I said, I'm a Capricorn, so I need to be grounded because we're one of the grounded signs out there. We see things that a lot of people don't see from the outside looking in. But yeah, I need my peace. So all this hacking my phone, as soon as I find out my phone is hacked, I'm changing my number. This phone right here, I done changed my number probably about a good 20 to 25, maybe 30 times in the last year and a half because they keep hacking my phone. They keep hacking my phone. They want to watch me. They want to see what I'm doing. But in the background, they don't want nobody to know what's going on in the background. That they out here trying to do PPP loans. They stealing my identity. They getting jobs. They getting traffic tickets and all types of stuff under my name. I literally just had to call Equifax just yesterday because supposedly my information got leaked on the dark web. So now I'm seeing a lot of things popping up on my credit that wasn't there. I'm big on my credit. My ex-husband, he'll tell you, he knows I check my credit almost every day. So I don't know why the fuck he would decide that he want to play with me. All you're going to do is get yourself caught up. That's all you're going to do. So I just had to call Equifax yesterday because whoever the fuck this was had the nerve to put their name on my account. And I'm not sure if my sister had something to do with this or not. But for me and my sanity, I cut her ass off too. I don't give a fuck, family or not. Because right now, how it's looking to me, it's looking like she's the reason why my phone is being hacked. Because I asked her, and that's confirmation. Because I asked her to put a phone on under her name for me because my phone kept getting hacked. So she put the phone on, and all of a sudden, as soon as I got the phone, I had the phone. I got the phone in November of last year. By freaking December, my phone started doing weird shit. Like apps was being downloaded on the phone that I didn't download. Things was being deleted off the phone. My contacts was being removed. Things that I subscribed to wasn't subscribed anymore. Like just fucking bullshit. I'm like, yo, so I got my sons and them, and we trying to figure out, you know, how is this happening? This been going on for so long. I just came from Apple like a week ago, and even Apple can't figure out what this is that they put on my phone. I went into the store with the phone, and they can't figure out what this is that's on the phone. And mind you, they got all the hackers in Apple, so they're able to bypass whatever this is and whatever. But whatever this is, they're telling me that I had to call Apple because they don't know what it is in the store. It's something that they put on my phone that I couldn't even delete my iCloud, and I couldn't even change my password. I couldn't change the password. I couldn't delete the iCloud. Anything to do with the iCloud, I couldn't do. I couldn't even reset the phone because I needed to put the password in. They was changing my password, so I couldn't delete nothing, and I couldn't change nothing. It's to the point where it's like I'm not me. When I called Equifax yesterday and I gave them my social, my social security number or whatever, they have me merged with somebody else, totally different. Like my social is not me. Like I'm invisible. Like I'm not me and I'm somebody else. So they have my name as a AKA to whoever this other person is, which the other person is my sister. But these are the type of games that these people playing. I don't know. It's, to me, it's stupid. Like you have, it can't just be one person just coming up with these storylines like of how to fuck people up. It's a whole group of them. It's a whole occult of people, and everybody putting their brains together and they chiming in. Oh, we can do this. Oh, we can do that, and they figure something out, and the next everybody just run with that same plan. And this is how they find ways to get into your account, how to fuck your credit up, how to hack your phone, and how to gaslight you and make you look like you the crazy one. Like this is crazy. But I don't know. If y'all have any stories that y'all wanna or if this resonate for you and you wanna leave a comment or whatever, feel free, because it's like each one teach one, and people only go through and do homework on things that are going on in their life at that current moment. So like for this video right here, it's probably something that I said you probably like, damn, oh, so that's what that dude been doing, or that's what that girl been doing. I hope this helps in some type of way, that just to bring awareness, because it's a lot of things that's going on behind the scene. People doing fake marriages and PPP loans, and like, get a life. Why don't you go out there and go work and get your own goddamn money? Like, what the hell? Shit is crazy. I just can't wait till this is all over. But like I said in my previous video, I'm literally walking karma for these people. Because all the shit that they try to do to me for the last few years or whatever, it's not working. All the beauty spells, it's to the point now, the Most High lets me know when it's being done. And I'm able to recognize the signs. Hold on. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, but these people just really need to get a goddamn life, yo. They're doing all of this to sit here and try to make us seem like we're the crazy ones, and they're God in our lives. Like, get the fuck out of here. This shit is crazy. I don't know. Um, it was something else that I wanted to. Oh, I was gonna tell y'all, like, yeah, so it's to the point now that the Most High, He lets me know when they're doing these attacks, whether it be a womb spell, which they love to do on me, because like right after I kicked him out a year and a half ago, over a year and a half ago, um, I ended up in the hospital because I'm like, I know my menstrual only lasts a certain amount of days, but for like 3 months straight, that's ridiculous. What is that? And then I go to the hospital, and the doctor don't even know. So the doctor is like, "Oh, let's do some tests. Let's run some tests and let's see what comes back." So I do my blood work. I kicked him out in May, the ending of May, and by June I was trying to make an appointment. So I didn't get to see the doctor until like July sometime. This is the extreme these fucking people will go. I did my blood work, and I called 2 weeks later to go back for my results. I did my AIDS test. I did my, entire STD panel and whatever. And I go back 2 weeks later, and the doctor tells me, like, yo, your whole chart is missing. What do you mean my whole chart is missing? She's like, yeah, the only test results we have is your AIDS test results. And I'm like, how is that when I sat here and I did a whole STD panel? I want the gonorrhea, syphilis, the chlamydia. I want everything. I said, so what are you saying? My whole blood work and my chart disappeared out the hospital. Come to find out, the hospital got hacked for 2 months. Oh, so you got pulled is what you're telling me. That whoever you working with in the hospital just went and just snatched my chart of everybody else's chart in the hospital. Just my chart disappeared? Really? It's not just that. When I moved, I snuck and moved. I literally had to abruptly leave my previous apartment because it was to the point, the building that I was in, you had to go up a flight of steps to get to the door. And then you have to go up another flight of steps when you get in the building to get to my apartment. There was only 2 apartments in that building. But apparently, they would hack my Wi-Fi. The same girl, the neighbor I told y'all about, that he kept having in the house or whatever, this was another house that she was in. So that means they've been fucking around for a long ass motherfucking time. For 2 apartments is how I'm looking at it. And now here I am in a whole nother apartment. So this is like 3 apartments. They still been fucking. Because she's right outside my house too. I just saw her like, 2 nights ago? Thought she was slick, gonna pull up on the side of me. What, you want me to get out of my car? For what? Y'all want me to look like I'm crazy? No, you're not gonna get that satisfaction. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Y'all want me to act crazy? Come to my motherfucking door. Because y'all know where I live at. Because then I have all rights to do what the fuck I'm gonna do. But anyway. So, yeah, like, the whole medical chart disappeared. The girl, she was in my house setting up like booby traps with my Wi-Fi. So they would know when I'm in the house, when I'm not in the house. Because, the Wi-Fi, you have all the TVs, all the cameras and stuff like that. They'll know. And, whatever phones, whatever's on the Wi-Fi, they're able to hack into the laptops and everything. So they'll know. So when I moved, I left, and I left most of my stuff still in the apartment. I was like sneaking, and I would move whatever I could move in my truck. And I would come back the next day and move a little bit and whatever. So for like a whole month, we was moving, but we was moving quietly. So I guess once they figure out, like, he's been riding past the house because my neighbors and them kept telling me, like, yo, I seen your ex. He's still riding past here. He come through here every morning at between 5 and 6 o'clock and whatever. I'm like, oh well, if you see him, don't tell him, that I moved. So one day, I saw my neighbor, and she's like, yo, two officers was looking for you. What is two? What is the police looking for me for? So I go upstairs after I finish talking to her. I go upstairs and my door is kicked in. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go back downstairs. Now I'm asking her. I'm like, yo, did you see anybody else come to the house? She's like, no, it was just two officers. And this lady's nosy as hell. She be in the window like, you can't do nothing. And this lady don't know what's going on. She's in the window every day, all day. So I'm like, now you got the police coming to my house to kick my door in? Or was you dressed like a police officer? Because I remember throughout the years, we would talk about things like this, and he would tell me, like, jokingly, like, yo, if you ever was to try to leave me, I'm going to have you looking like that man over there. And then when I look over, the man is with crutches or with a cane or in a wheelchair or deformed and shit. And I'm like, so I'm laughing. I'm thinking this shit is funny. I'm thinking it's funny, but he was dead ass serious. He was dead ass serious. So not only did they break into my apartment, but freaking I got into a car accident. I got into two car accidents and a slip and fall all within one motherfucking year. They've been doing so much fucking heavy voodoo on me, it's crazy. I went I had found this, well actually I had tried to get my son this job. He was working at my ex-husband, he was working at Napa out here, and the car parts store. He was delivering parts and stuff like that to like places. But then I tried to get my son, my oldest son, I tried to get him a job at another one. So he started working at the other one. He only lasted like 2 3 days, and he calls me. He's like, "Ma, I can't do this job. They keep sending me to places where the address is not popping up on the map and this and this and so." He was like, "Can you finish the job for me?" So I go like I asked, trying to save my son job and shit. And I go and I start, I drive. But like I said, I'm a driver, so that's my piece right there. I listen to my music and I zone out. But I liked the job. And the guy ended up freaking hiring me for the damn job because he's like, yo, your son, I can't do your son, his attitude, this and this. I said, all right, cool, well, fuck it. I was going to give him my truck so he can drive that, and I was going to stay home, and let him work. But then when they told me they wanted me to take the job, this was during COVID. At that time, I was like homeschooling my two little ones. So I said, all right, you know what? I told my son, I said, you homeschool them. I'm going to pay you to homeschool them. And, excuse me, I'm going to give you the curriculum and stuff that they need and whatever. And I'm just going to go to work and I'll pay you. He said, all right, cool. So like every time I would come home, my daughter would be crying. Oh, mommy, she can't do the work or whatever it is. He don't have no patience. He keep yelling at her and this and this and this. So I'm like, you know what? This is not working. But they had hired me for that job, and they ended up moving me to a different company that works with a lot of the collision companies out here. Where I was working at, I was still delivering stuff, but I was delivering like paint for all the collision companies out here. So I started doing that, and I told my son, I said, why don't you go do the Home Depot thing? Because Home Depot at the time, they was hiring the main factory out in New Jersey. I was like, you could just take my car, because being that it was like a close to overnight shift, it was cool, because he could have brought my car back, and I could still do what I have to do like in the mornings and whatever, because he would get off of work at like 3 in the morning. And he'd be back by like 3:30. So it wasn't really that, we tried to fit it in the schedule or whatever, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But he went out there the first 2 days on the job. He's like, "Ma, I almost broke a finger. I almost lost a toe." I'm like, yo, you know what? I don't know what to tell you because I can't help you now. I can't help you. You not like me. Like, you don't want to work. You don't want to do nothing. So fuck it. It is what it is. So I took the other job. I was working on a job. So one day I went on I was on lunch break and I went to go get me something to eat. The road I was on, it was a little narrow road, but it was supposed to be parked cars on one side and it was a school on the other side. So I pull up on the side of the school by like the hydrant, but I pulled up like halfway behind another car. So half my car is in the street and the other half is in, like, by the hydrant. So the bus is coming towards me, and the guy that was in front of me that I pulled up behind, he jumps in his car with two little kids in the car and decides to step on the gas in reverse and backed into me. That shit broke one of my disc in my neck, and I had to get my tendon fixed because he tore one of my tendons. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is just ridiculous. And it didn't dawn on me that this was all spell work. It didn't dawn on me. So then now, here I am, a couple of months later. After I had the surgery, I go to a gas station. I go get gas. This is where the confusion spells and stuff be coming in at, because it just be chaos. Like, you could be on the road and all the cars just be doing like 100, phew, 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 like this right in front of you. Those are confusion spells. That's how you can tell, right? So the chaos now is like every time you try to do something, things wouldn't go right. It's just a whole bunch of chaos, and you start getting like headaches and things like that. Like, yo, like, what the fuck is going on? And it's something to just put you in your head to make you think like, yeah, I'm going crazy, because there's no way. It's like, what else would it be? No, but this is where the spiritual war come in at, because these people are doing these spells and chaos and confusion and wound spell and freaking beauty magic and all this fucking low level bullshit just to sit there and get you in your head so you can be trapped. So you have to realize when things are going on in your life. Like, when they say your body talk to you, your body talk to you. You know yourself because you've been around yourself all your motherfucking life. So when it's something off and it's not something that a doctor can tell you what it is, then that's fucking voodoo. Because normally when it's voodoo involved, the doctor don't know what it is. It just be like made up. Like, oh, we don't know what this is. We've never seen this before type shit. You'd be like, what? But you the doctor. Like, you supposed to know what this is. How many patients you had, like, and you don't know? Yeah, no, they don't know, because these confusion spells are working even on the judges, the lawyers, the doctors, and things like that. So even if they did have a slightest clue of what it could be, it's a block. It's like a mental block that they wouldn't be able to translate it into words to where it'll be an actual thing, or they'll look fucking crazy. But these are the games that these people play, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I'm gonna stop this video, and I'll come back on the next one. I just wanted to be able to put out a video or two just to get this channel started. Like I said, I have a lot of stories. I have a lot of knowledge, period. It's just I have to really, meditate on what I can share and what I shouldn't be sharing, because I don't want to share certain things and it exposes secrets that we don't want out, as to, like, how to block these things and whatever. Like, even the transmuting energy, I did want to share on how you do that too, but I'm still debating on that, because it's certain things that you can do to, like, raise your vibration where these attacks won't work. One, it's like your diet. You have to be on a very strict diet. You have to fast. You have to tap into your higher self. It's things like that. And it's like once you wake up to it happening, it don't work no more. It really don't. You would know when it's happening. You would know. You would see the signs. You just have to pay attention. And then, the universe lets you know whatever you need to know. However you get your messages, they'll show you. Word. But I hope this video was able to at least enlighten somebody about some of the things that goes on with the occults, with the relationships with men and women. And this is not just a man thing. These things with the gaslighting and the relationships and stuff like that, they say women do a lot of voodoo, but the men are freaking way worse than the women. Like women, they do love spells, money spells, things like that. But these men do conniving shit like fuck your life up, fuck your credit up. Like, you be like, yo, what the fuck? So you got to be careful when you meeting these men or meeting these women, but mainly the men. Mainly the men. Especially like even until now, I'm gonna just tell y'all this one last thing and then I'm out of here. Like even until now, it's to the point that I had to take my kids to Atlantic City. So we're on the beach, and I had made sure all the kids changed their number. I had changed my number, whatever. My son decided he wants to put the phones under his name. So now it's them it's three phones on the line, and all three of them is under my oldest son's name. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? I tell you to make up a name and just put it on there, so that way we can't be traced. We're literally on the beach, right? And my son gets a text. I'm sitting right next to him. He's like, Ma. Who's this? And I'm like, who's who? I said, let me see. And I looked, and it's his father fucking texting him, talking about, oh, if anybody asks, tell them this is your uncle such and such. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. So I'm looking around now. I'm like, yo, I know this nigga ain't followed me to fucking Atlantic City. That night, I went out, right? I changed the kid's number when got back to the room. And I went out that night. I met this dude. I went to Haraz. They had like a little pool party or something in there. So I'm in there, and I met this guy. It's supposed to be a bouncer that works there. And the guy is coming on like real strong. He's like, yo, I want you. And the music is going, so I can't hear him. I'm just reading his lips. So then we step outside. We start talking. And he's telling me, he's like, yo, I want you. You're pretty and this and this and this. And I'm like, I gave him my number. So that night he calls me. Like, first of all, I'm telling you, I'm driving back to the room. I'm in a town that I don't know, nothing. So yeah, I need my GPS on my phone and whatever. The guy's just going in like, oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous. Yeah, I would do this and this and this. Hold the fuck up. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Give me a couple of minutes. Let me get where I'm going. Let me get my kids situated, and I'm going to call you back. I went to the room, put the kids, we got something to eat and whatever. They took their showers and whatever. They was getting ready to go to bed. So I decided I was going to call him. So now the guy, he's being like overly aggressive with the conversation, talking about, oh, yo, I think I'm in love with you. What do you want? My social security number, and you want my password to my phones, and this for what? I don't even know you. It ain't even been 24 hours yet. What are you talking about? But this is the type of thing that my ex was doing. He was paying people to try to kick it to me, just so I could sit there and step outside my box and lay down with another man, just so he could look like it was just for him leaving and not coming to see his kids for almost 2 years. What? Like, it's crazy. You ride past my house every day. Every day, whether you're paying somebody to ride past my house or you're riding past my house yourself. You never once knocked on my door. I have an order of protection against you. You're not even supposed to be hacking my phone. You're not even supposed to be riding past my house. You're not even supposed to be on my block. You don't even live here. You live in a whole another area somewhere, wherever that's at. But you're doing all of this, and you never once said, oh, how are the kids doing? Tell them I love them, or whatever. The order of protection is against me. It's not against the kids. I never stopped you from seeing your kids. But the fact that I'm seeing what you're doing and I'm watching you, that just makes me, you know, be on guard now. Like, you really never gave two shits about these motherfucking kids. So why sit here and try to thrash me to my kids? Oh, your mom did this and your mom did that, and oh, this is your mom's fault. And what? Why guys do that? Like, this is ridiculous. I see you every day. You following me. You put freaking trackers on my car and all this type of stuff for what? For what? 99.9% of the times I'm riding around by myself. The kids are not in the car. Now, if you're going to be like, oh, you're watching my house to make sure nobody go in my house because the kids are in there, well, that's a different story. But that's not it. That's not it. So, like, come on. This is crazy. I'm going to make sure I get all these stories out. All these stories it's going to be freaking public because what he's doing is it's like beyond ridiculous, involving people from the Marines and all of that. I know you have a sister that's you know, whatever, was in the army or whatever that was. But most of these people that you're paying was in the freaking Marines. I could run down like a good 4 or 5 of them that I know for a fact that's working with you. And that's a goddamn shame. I didn't realize there was so many Marines out here, and I didn't realize the Marines were so fucking corrupt. Or is it just these people that are no longer active? What, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out because just the other day I took this lady. Come to find out, she was an ex-Marine. I went with her. Normally, sometimes I go sit by the water, you know, cleanse my energy and things like that. I do whatever it takes to stay grounded. So sometimes I'll go sit by the water, I'll smoke a cigarette, you know, smoke a blunt or whatever, have a drink, and then I'll take my ass back home. But I'll, you know, gain my composure back and then I'll go. So I'm sitting out there with this lady, and she's like, "Oh, where's the bottle at?" I'm like, "Oh, it's in the back. I had one drink." And she goes to the back. Now, I was standing on the outside watching her because I knew I put the bottle in my pocketbook. It was on top of my pocketbook, and my pocketbook was in the back. So she went to the back, so I'm standing behind her. I don't know how the fuck she was able to do this shit. I don't know how she was able to do this shit, but my whole license just disappeared out my whole fucking wallet. My whole license just disappeared. And it's like how I could tell when they're doing things like the other night when I told y'all they pulled up on the side of me, but they was across the street. Like, even when I look at the car and I look at the people in the car, it's like they have no face. I can see the outside of the car, you know, the frame, the license plate number, everything. I got 20/20 vision. There's no way that I can't see your face. But this is how you know when it's spell work involved, because they're doing things to try to like block my third eye, and that's how I be knowing. It's like the signs be so clear. It's crazy, but I don't know. That's it for this video. I didn't even expect this video to even go this long, but I kind of like this YouTube thing, just talking to myself. The only thing is I didn't really want to do this because I know I have a lot of things in here that are recording. But I'm to the point now, like I said, this is my way of releasing these people out of my energy. So I don't give a fuck. Y'all hear me, y'all don't hear me. I don't give a fuck because this phone right here is probably fucking tapped. This one I know for a fact is tapped. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all on the next one.